Because in 75 years, no leader thought it fit to sign a MoU with a Russian judiciary, especially when Russia was our closest ally. Are you trying to say that the best IT practices are available in Russia? Are you trying to tell us that they are more transparent than us? Are you trying to tell us that their IT services, they are the global exporter of IT? Can argue that, it is increasing international relation or judicial cooperation. At the other level, you can argue that that we are anyway abandoning the rule of law in favor of rule of the government, the police state.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. There's a Bloomberg report which has gone viral, and that Bloomberg report says that Donald Trump Jr., that is Donald Trump's son, he held a private meeting with Gautam Adani while visiting the country in November last year. You remember Donald Trump Jr. had come last year to India, so that was the time when he met Gautam Adani as he faced the fraud and the bribery charges in the US. And this Bloomberg report says that the charges were dropped by the Trump administration last month. Now, what are the key points of this Bloomberg report? Now, let me just tell you exactly about it. First point, which is mentioned in the Bloomberg report, it says that the previously undisclosed meeting took place in Ahmedabad, which is, of course, part of the state of Gujarat because it is from their angle. So they describe it as the western state of Gujarat, although the details of what was discussed are unknown. So this is one new factor which has emerged, that this was a meeting which took place in Ahmedabad when last year Donald Trump Jr. was on his visit to India. Now, a spokesperson for Trump Jr., cited by Bloomberg, said that the meeting had zero to do with the Department of Justice's decision to drop its federal case brought by the Biden administration against Adani. So here, that Trump Jr.'s spokesperson is actually refuting it, saying that it has nothing to do with the Department of Justice's decision to drop the federal case. Then the third point which is mentioned is that Adani and his company have vehemently denied the federal charges, which were dropped last month following reports that the billionaire's lawyers offered to invest $10 billion in the US. And after that, the report says that, citing an unnamed person close to President Donald Trump, Trump's son, the report said that Adani's younger son, Jeet Adani, who was involved in a push to end the federal case, met with Donald Trump Jr. in Mar-a-Lago, which is, of course, Trump's mansion. And this unnamed source again claimed that DOJ case was not discussed in either of the two meetings. So what does this Bloomberg report say? Bloomberg report clearly says that Donald Trump Jr. met Gautam Adani in Ahmedabad, but the source close to him said that there was no meeting regarding the Department of Justice. The second meeting, which happens where Jeet Adani, Gautam Adani's son, goes to Mar-a-Lago, and there also they say that this has nothing to do with the federal charges, but it was a meeting which happened. Now, what does one assume from this Bloomberg report? Does it not put out the time, the date, which the Indian media failed to investigate? Then, of course, one has to point out the fact that the Law Ministry was trying to serve a summons to Gautam Adani regarding this case. That summons was never served to him. And now this Bloomberg report, which clearly brings out the connection, why Donald Trump Jr. met Gautam Adani and why Jeet Adani met Donald Trump Jr. in Mar-a-Lago. So we'll try and discuss this Bloomberg report. What does it entail? What does it show? And where do we stand vis-a-vis India and America's relationship if you keep Gautam Adani and Prime Minister Modi in the center frame? Joining me this evening is Arun Agarwal, lawyer and activist. Thank you so much, Mr. Agarwal, for joining. And how would you really read this Bloomberg report? What are the biggest takeaways from this Bloomberg report, according to you?
Good evening, Neelu ji. See, the takeaways are the normal takeaways. I mean, there is nothing surprising. All of them are transactional people. All of them believe in crony capitalism. All of them believe in how to milk the system dry. And on top of that, Donald Trump and naturally his progeny, they also know where they can make money and where somebody, if they are giving a favor, it can't be for nothing. And they have to be paid for it. And that's how they are transacting business. There are a number of decisions which are being taken by the president in which his family is the direct beneficiary, or he himself is the beneficiary, but nobody is able to check him because he has got huge presidential powers. And on top of that, he has got protection of the judiciary over there, which is split 6-3, Republican versus Democrat. So he's enjoying that honeymoon period and he's getting along. What is significant is that here they knew exactly where to go and what to strike. First, he is coming and visiting Anant Ambani in Vantara. There he is striking a deal for investment in a refinery in Texas, in which he is partly a shareholder. So that is a quid pro for probably allowing Ambani to use cheap Russian oil at the expense of our national companies. So, and maybe whatever dereliction may have been there. So that is the quid pro over there. And over here, it is very clearly that he has got a civil and a criminal case against him pending in America on rupees 2,000 crore bribe, for which a Canadian company was being asked for its share of the payment of the bribe, in which they got caught. So for that, he has come here and capitalized. And naturally, Adani will not be seen to be sending his nephew Sagar Adani to Mar-a-Lago because he is the accused. Neither will Gautam Adani himself go and negotiate. So he sends Jeet Adani to Mar-a-Lago over there. So there is nothing new. You see, Trump has issued something like 1,700 pardons, out of which only 5% are genuine, 95% are transactional. No, either, of course, a good chunk of it are those who were sabotaging the election 2021 by raiding the Capitol Hill on 6th of January. But if you take that number out, there is one Chang Peng Zhao, a CEO of a cryptocurrency, who had pilfered billions of dollars. He was given a pardon and he floated another cryptocurrency company in which his families are partners. So that is how these pardons are being given. Then there are middlemen who charge anywhere from 1 million to 5 million to approach Trump in order to get you a pardon. So those people are also making money. So these pardons are all for sale. And these are all, this keeps on happening. You will recall.
But do you believe, because this Bloomberg report has been written on the basis of a source which was close to Donald Trump Jr., and he categorically has denied that this meeting had anything to do with the federal case, the charges which were there on Gautam Adani. So is it confusing? Is it misleading? Or does it leave the viewers to connect the dots and see how the quid pro quo is happening?
You see, there are some people who are known for their honesty. You know, who, if they say something, you take the word at value. There are any number of such leaders who would not lie, at least openly. I can name, from Nelson Mandela to, you go down to President Obama, Biden, anybody. In this case, none of them are known for their moral values or for telling the truth, whether it is Trump or his junior or the Adani family. They always talk the language of their convenience at the best, and which is baked half truth at the worst. So you can't, I mean, just because they deny it, you can't take it at face value. In fact, if you remember, the only time I think Mr. Modi gave a press conference or whatever, when he was asked the question that did you discuss with Trump, did you discuss the Adani issue, on which he flared up. When leaders of two nations meet, they do not discuss such things. So, and what transpired later on through the tariff shows that this we are beholden to America because of this Adani case pending over there, which he is milking it dry. He knows how to do it. He is a professional. I mean, we have paid a huge price for that particular thing. Adani and all will not pay any price for it. Even this 10 billion, which is supposed to be the public quid pro for investment in America, will come at the expense of our financial institution. This is not going to be funded by international financial institutions. So that much of investment will be denied by the banking and the insurance and whatever other financial institutions that we have to the Indian entrepreneur, to the Indian companies. So this is where we are. A company which is back to the 60s, 70s as a very poor country, 80 crores struggling for basic nutrition, is again, this time at least, earlier America showed compassion because of our poverty. Now they are ruthless because you go around strutting on the global this thing that we are the fourth, fifth. I mean, when you are not even the fourth, you say you are the fourth.
In fact, this Bloomberg report is evoking a lot of political reaction on the social media. I would like to just show the tweet of Manikam Tagore. If we can have it play out. Mr. Manikam Tagore has put out a tweet which clearly says that, and this is how it reads. So let me get this straight. Donald Trump Jr. reportedly meets Gautam Adani, and soon after, the Department of Justice drops the fraud charges. What a remarkable coincidence. Perhaps all those who believe in hard work and due process should instead start believing in networking and family friendships. And back home, Prime Minister Narendra Modi keeps insisting that there is no special relationship with Adani. Of course, just like the sun has no relationship with daylight. From Ahmedabad to Washington, the family business seems to have gone global. Maybe the Viksit Bharat was always meant to be Viksit Adani. And now with international partnerships, what next? MAGA alliance, make Adani great again and again. Coincidences are truly amazing when billionaires are involved. Just keep this tweet on the screen. And Arunji, if I may ask you, now the kind of political reaction we are getting, and similarly, a lot of other people are also writing on the social media because this reveals a lot. This Bloomberg report again says a lot about the quid pro quo, the relationship between Prime Minister Modi and Adani, how Donald Trump also is using the capitalists for his own sake. What do you think are the big takeaways from this and the way the political reactions are coming up? How is it going to manifest politically?
No, I mean, this is the new normal. So the opposition may shout, people may find it inappropriate. So what? You're not going to get any relief at any point of time. Those who control the levers of power, they are going to function as it is. The ED doesn't have the courage or the guts to raid the Adanis. The foreign exchange, whatever control, they are not going to prevent the fund flow to America through Adani and Ambani. So this is the new normal. We are a colony functioning almost like a colony of America. It does whatever it tells you, stop the war, you stop the war. It says that we are going to put 48% tariff on you, special tariff. You can't say anything. You say that we are going to put tariffs on agriculture produce. Again, you are not able to do anything. So, what is happening? I mean, it's worse than the colonialism of the British. So there is nothing surprising. The global level, we are having a crony capitalism structure. Now, just today, we have entered into an MoU which we had not done for the past 75 years with the Russian judiciary. Can you imagine any democratic government? I mean, that MoU was there for the asking for successive governments from Nehru onwards, right up to, Vajpayee and Manmohan Singh. Any time they could have had that MoU with the Russian judiciary. But we didn't do it. We had, at that time, excellent relationship with the Russian government. Now, relationship has soured because we have to choose between America and Russia. So we have to choose America in preference of Russia. At this juncture,
since you mentioned about this memorandum of understanding with the Supreme Court of Russia, where Chief Justice Suryakant has also signed this MoU, what does it actually mean? How is it going to play out in terms of the justice, delivery of justice, in terms of other collaborations? How is it going to manifest?
No. You see, as far as Russia is concerned, it has a history. Its judiciary has a history. Right, starting from 1917 communism right till now. They are not going to Indianize their judiciary. In our country, we are already talking about Russification of the judiciary, which is dominated by state-controlled judiciary, autocratic this thing, appointment of the judiciary. So that's already happened. Maybe we are formalizing it. We have seen how elections were stolen, how nothing was happened, how election commissioner was appointed by the government, who in turn helped to do this.
No, but what is your feeling?
I am shocked is that you are doing it brazenly.
What I want to clarify from you, sir, is that this MoU with the Russian Supreme Court, what I'm reading everywhere is that the key areas of focus this MoU focuses on is the judicial experience exchange. Both Supreme Courts will facilitate the exchange of legal knowledge, best practices, and legal experiences. The second point, digital justice and IT integration. Collaboration will heavily feature court digitalization, utilizing AI, integrating information technology to streamline court operations. Third, professional training. The MoU lays the groundwork for personal development and specialized training programs for court staff and legal professionals. So, if you look at it at the face value, it looks very good that this is a judicial exchange program.
You see, the Western model or whatever we have adopted is based on rule of law. In Russia, the judiciary is based on rule of state. If you eliminate the opposition leader, nothing will happen. What the state wants, it gets. Now, within that framework, are you trying to say that the best IT practices are available in Russia? Are you trying to tell us that they are more transparent than us? Are you trying to tell us that their IT services, they are the global exporter of IT? What are you trying? What can you?
Are you hinting at a compromise? Are you hinting at some sort of a compromise with the Indian?
I am hinting at the predominance of the state in the judiciary, which is already there. I am not mincing words. The interference of the government and the manner in which judiciary is siding with the government is a historical fact.
No, so are you saying that the way the Russian state interferes with judiciary?
I am saying that our democracy is turning towards the Russian model. Except that there we have the Communist Party of Russia and here we have the RSS. That's the only difference. Mindset is the same. I
Right.
could not have imagined that we would have signed a MoU with all the this thing. I mean, next thing is we are not that close to China. We might as well probably do it with China,
No,
or
but
maybe
you see this as a danger. You see this as a danger for Indian
I am.
judiciary.
You see, in Russia, democracy does not exist because the judiciary sides with the state. That is the only reason. There is no independent judiciary, there is no rule of law. There is the rule of the state. It is a police state. That is where we are landing. Ethnic targeting, denial of bail to a certain section of this thing, condoning gross this thing in appointments, letting BJP leaders off the hook for hate speech. You go down this thing, it's we are just
No, but
like
is there a precedent, sir? Is there a precedent in the past also where we have signed MOUs with other international courts and I mean Supreme Courts of other countries?
no MOU has at one end it is a voluntary thing. It is nothing which is a contract as if it is binding on each other. I am asking that what has this judiciary to learn from Russian judiciary, which it has all along. All the students over here, when they pass out from these national law schools, they try for their admission in Yale, Harvard, Columbia, Stanford, wherever you go. How many people have gone to Russia to study their law? Have we say that we are a country of rule of law? How many professors are having an exchange program with Russia? How many judges have gone to address Russian legal faculties, judiciary? Every time you find them rushing to either
What could be the idea behind doing it? What could be the idea in the mind of the Chief Justice of India, Justice Surikant? I'm sure he must have consulted someone before signing it.
I always go back to his old saying that in life, personal relations are far more important than professional applause. So if that is your precedence, if you are seen to be siding, being accused now by so many people with the government of the day, putting your judiciary on the line in so many orders under 142, and then you find how democracy is stolen, how people are prevented from voting, you might as well formalize the Russian model in India. Why are people, where is the rule of law? See, there are any number of countries in
So you fear that the days are not far when we would see the Russian model of judiciary play out?
Yes, it could happen. Because in 75 years, no leader thought it fit to sign a MOU with a Russian judiciary, especially when Russia was our closest ally, where it used to side with us in the UNO and exercise its veto power against all the Western economies. Even in those days, we had the rule of law. And there are any number of instances in history where tin pot dictators have replaced democracy, which was handed over to them at the time of independence. You see the African states, how now the dictators have come about ruling, the military has taken over. Or even in our
is this MOU, is this the signing of the Russian, is the signing of this MOU with the Russian judiciary or the Russian Supreme Court an alarm bell for the Indians?
No, you see,
are there reasons to worry?
No, at one level you can argue that, it is increasing international relation or judicial cooperation. At the other level, you can argue that that we are anyway abandoning the rule of law in favor of the rule of the government, the police state. So you choose as it is.
But I haven't seen any opposition member or any lawyer of, from the opposition side raise a question on this so far. If I have missed it, then I don't know. Yeah.
No, no. There are two reasons for it. One is that generally political parties are afraid of the judiciary, even though very few judgments go in their favor. So they don't like to criticize the judiciary, and that is one advantage that they take. And secondly, the lawyers there, this thing is linked with the, they have to appear in court, so this thing is linked with them. But sooner or later, after a lag, because it's just happened yesterday, there will be apprehensions about it. As it is, Kirti Azad has been saying that now we are following the Russian model of democracy. So if it is a Russian model of democracy, it also includes the judiciary. So you see, we are
No, but
getting.
Justice Suryakanth also has spoken about, like we have one nation, one election. So
One
he
leader, one
about
party.
one case, one data. He
One Supreme Court Chief Justice. Let's extend it. One leader, one political party. What are you trying to say? That India is no more a diverse country of multiple languages, multiple cultures, and unity and diversity is gone. And so many religions.
He's talking in context of one case, one data initiative. And he's saying that aims to create a standardized digital record for each case across the judicial platforms.
Let me tell you, the biggest push to IT took place during Chandrachud's time. And I can tell you, with all his faults, nobody understood technology in judiciary as well as Chandrachud did. He called for a tender, he called for a system, he made them sit down, and he linked all the courts electronically. He saw to it, at least that infrastructure in a very economical 7,000 crores or something was allotted, that people could appear virtually in the court. He pushed the judges to learn IT. Bombay High Court and all were not allowing, after the COVID, for lawyers to appear virtually. He pushed them to appear virtually. He standardized, he went for paperless filing. What else can you do? All that has to be done has been done. All you can do is now probably, identify people who have to be suppressed. There is nothing. And we are the leaders. We didn't go to Russia to do all that. Today, any person, then of course, all the judgments, he had them translated into different languages. His tenure will be remembered for this ITification of the judiciary. That will be his abiding legacy. In spite of all the negatives that you have seen, there are negatives, but there aren't as many.
Right.
Tell me, in which country can you see a live telecast of the court proceedings? How many in America you can't do it. You can hear it. They are, broadcast, but live. But you cannot see the judges. You cannot see. The camera is not allowed in the court over there. So that transparency that he tried to inject, today judges find it inconvenient because they are accustomed to making off-the-cuff remarks. One of them was the cockroach remark. Had there been no IT, would that cockroach remark have come in the public domain?
No, that's right.
If you told me that you had hired or you had entered into some big tech company in America or India to for the ITification of this thing, it is nothing new. It's being taught in the universities. Russia is not your leader. Our language is different. Our alphabet is different. What sense does it make? How? There is no synergy. There is no collaboration. We don't share any constitutional principles with them.
So my last question to you is, if you take both the stories, since we ended up discussing two stories. One was the Bloomberg story about Adani's and Trump's quid pro quo. And then we landed up discussing this signing of the MoU between the Indian Supreme Court and the Russian Supreme Court. If you look at these two stories in entirety, what is the big picture you get?
Well, we were already a part of crony capitalism, which was there to see for the last 10 years how all our national assets in the form of prime ports, airports, power structure, roads were being given to one and only one infrastructure development, refineries, oil. These are the major assets of this nation, mines. So that was already happening, except at the political step, we had some pretense of democracy, which after the coming of Gyanesh Kumar and his predecessors, when rigging started, unchecked rigging started at all levels, which made the Indian political opposition lose faith in the democratic forces, which you could see through press conferences and coming on the road to agitate, and total lack of interference of judiciary at any level against the government, was showing that we were now also adopting the political philosophy and political process that exists in Russia. And probably we have come one step closer by this MoU. That's what is my feeling or opinion about it.
All right, so we'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Mr. Agarwal, for joining on HW News. Thank you.